All right, let's get straight into the main event. Aldo and Font. Great fight. Great fight. Very competitive. You look at the scorecards and you see, 50-45 and things like that. And you think that it's just one-sided. But it wasn't. It wasn't the case. Obviously, leading into this fight from my last video, if you haven't seen, I did a breakdown and I said Aldo by decision. I thought he was a bad matchup for Font. And he is. But Font really surprised me. And I said this also in the breakdown. Good camps are going to change their style, change their game for certain opponents. And that's exactly what Font did. Font did a great job of... He mixed it up very well. He started using kicks. He was early on, he wasn't so jab heavy. He was volume striking, a lot of movement. Because again, in the breakdown, I was talking about Aldo, how he's very defensively sound. You move an inch to the left or right or forward or whatever, he's moving an inch left or right. So he's going to follow and adjust. Without even knowing, he's going to adjust. You throw jabs at the, you throw jabs, he's going to slip, you know what I mean? You throw leg kicks, he's going to check it. You know what I mean? So when you're doing all these things, whether they're fakes or they're half-committed punches, whatever it is, Aldo's going to react to them. And he's usually very hard to hit, where Font did a great job of landing because he was throwing a lot of offense, mixing them up, level changes, takedowns, all that type of stuff, and then started landing a lot of shots and was clearly winning the first round. So I thought he did great by changing his game and really stifling Aldo's offense. So while Aldo's doing all this, defensively heavy, like, slipping, countering, adjusting, it's very hard for you to, have offense because he's just, again, he's adjusting, right? He keeps adjusting, and before he knows it, he's not getting any offense away, if that makes sense. And Rob Font did a great job of that. But the big moments that Aldo had, and still in them rounds at the end, like dropped him in the first round, which Font was clearly winning, ends up dropping him. Later in the round, you started to see Rob Font use his jab a little bit more. That's when you've seen the leg kicks start to happen a little bit more. I found the leg kicks were a lot harder for Aldo to do early. Whether it was a game plan, I seen while he was warming up, he was definitely throwing them leg kicks. But the opportunities weren't there as much because he was constantly adjusting to Rob Font's movements and attacks and whatnot. So this was a good strategy again from Rob Font because he wanted to tire Aldo at the same time. So take Aldo's offense away from him, tire him out, then start being jab heavy and all that type of stuff. But Aldo showed that he did definitely tired, but he was still pretty effective. Especially when Rob Font sort of slowed down a little bit, and then he started using his jab a lot more, and that's when you started seeing Aldo's low kicks started to happen, started landing them clean. Rob Font started going for takedowns, got a couple of takedowns, which surprised me, which would have caught Aldo by surprise, but purely from so much volume and then throwing a level change in there, it's very hard to read. No matter how good defensively sound you are, when you really mix combos into takedowns, when you look like you're fully committed to shots upstairs and then you get a nice level change straight under, it's going to be very hard for you to make that adjustment that quick, even for a guy like Aldo. But I mean, later on, slowing down a little bit, he started stopping them takedowns and ended up on top and started really beating on Font, or top control. So you started to see the round start to favour Aldo, but again, Rob was in the fight the whole time. There was times where I still thought it was very, very close. But just the big moments is what separated the scorecards. It was separated it for Aldo, and obviously top control and whatnot. One thing that I noticed with a lot of guys in UFC, MMA in general, especially old school fighters, the jiu-jitsu heavy, and I love jiu-jitsu. This isn't a shot at jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu's, I do a lot of jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu's a big part of the sport, but sometimes you need to understand that this is MMA. Passing the guard and things like that doesn't have to be your main focus. In jiu-jitsu, it will be. You get points and whatnot. You get to the full mount, you get points, you're in a good position for submissions and whatnot, especially with gi and all that type of stuff. But MMA is a little bit different. So you see a lot of people that invest so much time and effort just trying to pass guard. They finally pass guard and then they end up losing the position anyway, and you just feel like, man, let's start, offense, especially when people are hanging onto the half guard. Some people hang onto the half guard purely because they don't want them to pass again. Because of jiu-jitsu base, they don't want to they don't want them to pass a guard because usually that's points. So they hang on to the half guard, which is a perfect time to just throw down bombs. Someone wants to hang on a leg, all right. You're not going to scramble up. I'll punch you in the face, punch your head through the canvas. So I felt like there was opportunities there for Aldo to really, probably land some ground and pound. But he wanted a bit of control, maybe slow down the fight because Rob Font was trying to break him down, which worked in his favour anyway. But again, great fight. You've seen all tools. You've seen Aldo use, all his tools, which was great. So credit to him, man. Aldo still got it, mate. Still got it. Gas tank as well. Again, it slowed down, but I still thought he was okay. He still was a bit of offense later on because I felt Rob Font stopped that movement and he slowed down. So that's why the opportunities, the leg kicks were there, and he could throw a little bit more offense once Rob Font wasn't moving as much as well. So great fight. Pretty much went what I expected to when it went to decision and that, but the fight styles from Rob Font's side, I guess, was a little bit different. But decision, Aldo got the decision, looking great, mate. He's still on a tear, which is unbelievable. Good on him. But let's get into the other fights that were in my breakdown. Jimmy Crute and Brad Riddell. Obviously, I picked my guys. I'm always going to pick my guys, especially people I know well, and Aussies and the Anzacs and whatnot. But with them fights, I thought they could definitely do it. With Jimmy Crute, I said it in the breakdown that he doesn't mind banging. Yeah, he's an entertainer. I wish, especially when he sort of got caught, he did go for the shot, but then it wasn't there and he let it go. I felt he should have been a bit more persistent with that because I thought he looked a lot stronger. Even though that shot, he got low, he wasn't in the best base position. He was very upright and like he was on his knees, so he couldn't get the drive, but he was in a good spot. And even though they were in there, I still felt like if he pursued that, he could have got a victory and, probably got that submission that I said he was going to get because, the hands from his opponent were pretty nasty and they caught him a couple of times. So that's the thing, yeah? That's the thing when you want to entertain in this sport, small gloves, what do you do? But but once you get hurt, I wish he got the takedown because obviously I wanted my boy to win. But, he'll be back. Jimmy Crute will be back. Credit to his opponent. Man, got some heavy hands and got some good boxing, as he said. Good little counters there. But yeah, Jimmy Crute will be back. Jake Matthews, unfortunately, his opponent, someone in their corner, got COVID, so that fight got canned. But supposedly they might be able to push that to next week, on this week's card. Sorry. So I'm hoping that happens. That's unfortunate. I mean, I know how it is to be pulled from a fight because of COVID. But anyway, what do you do? Brad Riddell and Rafa. Man, what a fight. Obviously, Brad Riddell's a very close friend of mine. Rafa's a mate of mine as well. I've trained with both. They've both been, excuse the bumps, I'm driving on the way home from Sydney. But both have been training partners. And not just that, both have been striking coaches of mine. Brad Riddell still helps me with striking whenever I'm over at City Kickboxing. He's usually in my corner as well. He was my striking coach when I was in Thailand. Obviously, Joe Lopez is my head coach, but I did a lot of my striking in Thailand as well. And obviously, City Kickboxing and whatnot. And Brad Riddell was usually my guy when I was away from my home gym with Joe Lopez. So, and Rafa, same as well. When Brad Riddell moved from Thailand and just went full-time at City Kickboxing, Rafa was a coach of mine whenever I went to Thailand. So they were both coaches of mine. So this is how high level these are at kickboxing. And you've seen it. Anyone that knows the game knows how high level these two guys are. Yeah, they're explosive, athletic, and all that type of stuff. It made the combos. How fast were they, made? It was pretty incredible. But the cancelling each other out every time people wanted, anytime one of them wanted to set up something, it was quickly shut down with combos. Like they would finally meet in the middle. You would just see like a 10-hit combo and they'll be out, like, both connecting. So it was a very close fight. And Rafa caught Brad Riddell. So I think whether it was an adjustment that Rafa made, knowing that he was exiting a couple of times, he threw that spinning kick as Brad was exiting out of range, but he was way out of range from it. The second time, Brad Riddell was circling a certain way, whether he read that he was going to circle that way and spun the spinning kick into where Brad Riddell was exiting and caught him. And obviously very hard to watch for me, but that's the game, you know. That's the game, especially when you got two elite strikers like that, two of the best strikers in the UFC, right up there, and you've seen it. Anyone that knows the game knows how high level that was. But yeah, man, it was hard to watch. Happy for Rafa, obviously, because Rafa's a cool dude himself, but I just wish they didn't fight. As well as, you know, it was good to see a high-level bout like that. Two people that are close to me, and especially seeing my really close mate in Brad Riddell lose is always tough. But seeing Jimmy Crute lose was obviously tough as well. But that's our sport, yeah? It's a crazy sport we play, and anything can happen in this damn sport. That's why we love it. It's entertainment. It's chaos. It's everything you need in a sport. You know what I mean? So that's why we love it. But yeah, that's my breakdown of the fights. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, big event this weekend. I'll do a breakdown on some of them fights. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, give it a share. Let people know about it. You know how it is. I'm going to be pretty active on this now. And if you want some detailed breakdowns and picks, I'm going to be doing a lot of them. So catch you next time.